Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel that is Nursing Tricks. I hope you all are doing well. And as you know, in my last video I have already started off with the lectures of research. So in the continuation with that I am uploading this video, and please view this video till end. This will be very useful for you, and please make sure that you comment so that I will be able to know that whether you are getting the my examples that I am giving to you or not. So in continuation, before starting off with my class, I would like to just revise what we have already seen in the previous classes. So we have seen that what is the foundation of nursing research and why is it necessary to study the research in this particular profession, and we have seen from where this word has come, and also along with that we have seen that research is the systematic inquiry and it is a disciplined and the controlled method. And also we have seen the methods of acquiring knowledge in nursing, in which we have seen the unstructured method and the structured method. So these two methods I hope you all are clear with, keeping in mind that I am starting off with my next slide, that is the problem solving. So I hope you will be able to understand all the examples. I will only come to know until unless you will not comment. Dear friends, I will not be able to know that whether you are understanding my examples that I am giving you or not. So please do comment. Okay, now starting off with the problem solving. So here you can see a circle in which I have explained various steps of problem solving. So here you can see the first step you can see is the problem definition. Second step is the problem analysis. Third step is generating the possible solutions. Fourth step is the analyzing the solution. Fifth step is selecting the best solution out of these selected solutions. Then next is the implementing the solution, and last step is the evaluation and revision. So here friends, I will give you one example which will help you in remembering the steps. Okay, so let's start off with the example. So first is the problem definition. Now let's take an example that you have various problems in your life. Nowadays we can see that a individual is suffering from, the problem is the financially he is having a problem. Secondly, he is also having a health issues, and third, he also wants to crack one of the exam for which he or she is studying. So he has defined the problem that he has financial problem and he has health issues, and third problem is that he want to crack the exam. Now this is the problem definition. So he has just defined the problem. Now next, let's come to the next step, that is the problem analysis. What you have defined, now you have to analyze which of the following problems I should get the solution. Okay, so now first problem was the financial burden. Okay, for the financial burden, okay, it is a problem because if you don't have a money you will not be able to purchase anything nowadays. Okay, now second problem was the health issue. So it is very important that if that person, that particular individual is suffering from one or the other disease, he should seek the medical help. Okay, now third one is the that we have seen the person is having wants to clear the exam. Now exam may definitely will come next year also, but now here he has analyzed that out of all three problems the priority should be given to the health issues. Okay, so now we have already covered two steps. First one was the problem definition, second one is the problem analysis. Now let's come to the next the step, that is generating the possible solution. So now for the possible solution you can only generate once you are clear with your problem. So now that particular individual has think that health issue is the priority. He or she needs the physical assistance. Okay, so this is generating the possible solution. Now he can generate the possible solution for health issues. Now we know nowadays, if you have any health issues, you can seek help from the Ayush, you can seek help from the allopathic doctors, you can seek your help from the anything like Ayurvedic, Unani, Siddha and all. So these two options are available with that particular individual. So he has generated the possible solutions for the health issue. Now let's come to the next step, that is analyzing the solution. Now that particular individual, when analyzed that he or she is suffering from the problem that should need a very urgent assistance, so if you will go to the homeopathic or exercise you want to do, that will take few months to few years to solve that problem. So that particular individual will directly go to the allopathic doctor. So this is analyzing the solution, that which solution will give him the best solution. Okay, so now next is the selecting the best solution. So now he has already selected the best option out of it, that is he wants to go to the allopathic doctor. Now next is the implementing the solution. Now that particular individual will actually go to that doctor and will ask for the help. Okay, so this is the implementation of the solution. And last step is the evaluation and revision. Now that particular individual will evaluate by observing his parameters, whether his parameters are normal or not, and he will revise whether the solution, the best solution which he has opted, has really given him a right thing or not. Okay, so this is evaluation and revision. And again, if he found that the the option that he has chosen has given him right thing, then he will say, he can say that his problem has been solved. But if it has not given him the right way, then he can again choose the, or he can again generate the possible solution. I hope this problem solving process is clear to you all. Now why is important to study this problem solving cycle? Because in question you can get question like this, that which of the following is the next step in problem solving process after problem analysis. So they can give you any 4 options. So here you don't have to mug up the things. If you will just remember this example, definitely you will take the right option. I hope this is clear. If it is not clear, please do comment. I will explain it again in my next video. Okay, now I am moving forward. Now next come to that is the last method of acquiring knowledge in the structured methods, that is the scientific method. So what is scientific method? All the scientists, they are going as in my previous video I have already told you, anywhere if you are finding these 3 words directly without seeing other options, just mark it. It is a scientific study. It is a scientific study. That is, if it is a controlled, if it is a systematic inquiry and it is a disciplined inquiry, then you can call it as a scientific method. Now there are various characteristics of the scientific methods. Now what all are the characteristics? We have already seen. It is orderly, it is a systematic, and it is a controlled, and it is a disciplined process. I hope it is clear. Next is, it attempts to control the external factors that are not under the direct investigation. Now again I would like to give one example here, that what is this external factor. Now let's take an example. If you are conducting a study, now study can be, you want to see the change in weight after 1 month if you are controlling the diet of an individual. Okay, you have controlled the diet of an individual. Like today you have asked one individual that you have to follow this particular schedule of diet, and after 1 month you have to come to me and I will record your weight and I will tell you whether this diet plan has really worked or not. Now that particular individual has come after 1 month to you and you found that that individual has really decrease in weight. But have you think that this decrease in weight can be because of jogging, can be because of exercise, can be because of any other thing which you have not controlled, which you have not taken care of. Okay, so these all are, these jogging, this exercise, this cycling, these all are the external factors. So I hope it is clear what all are the external factors which you are not taking into consideration, but they are hampering the result which you want. That is the external factors. I hope it is clear. Now I am moving on to the next. Finding are based on the empirical evidences. So empirical evidences are when you have evidence in hand, then only you are applying those evidences into your daily practice. So the findings, whatever you are finding, those are based on your what you have actually shown to the public. I hope it is clear. Next is findings can be generalized. Now I would like you, if you are watching this video, please do comment. I am asking one question here. Which of the following reasoning is going from the specific to general? Is going from specific to general? Please do comment. So here the findings can be generalized. When you are finding something and you are just generalizing it to the whole population out of which you have taken the sample, that is your scientific method. Moving on to the next point, based on the assumptions or hypothesis. I am repeating this point. These two terms are very important from the point of your questions, that is assumption and hypothesis. Now what is the difference between these assumptions and hypothesis? Assumption is it is not being tested, it is not being tested by the scientist, and when you are taking into consideration that this particular thing is hampering this particular thing, so this is the assumption. And hypothesis is which is you are writing the statement that your dependent and independent variable, they are related to each other. Okay, so this is your hypothesis. Now coming on to the next point, it is basically conducted to develop or test the hypothesis. So why we are conducting the scientific studies? Because we want to conduct or we want to develop or test the hypothesis. I am repeating this slide again because it is not that difficult, but the example that I have, why I have given you the example, just because I want you to just remember those examples, and please don't try to mug up these things. Otherwise, because we have so many subjects to study, so we can't mug up all the things. Okay, so it is a controlled, systematic, and it is a orderly process. It is in which you are controlling the external factors, and it is based on the empirical evidences. Findings can be generalized. It is based on the assumptions or hypothesis, and basically conducted to develop the hypothesis. Okay, I hope the scientific methods and problem solving is clear to you. Now coming on to the main definition, that in STEM you will find this as it is, you can find this, and the out of 4 option you have to mark that this definition is of which particular word. So the definition of research says, research is the process of systematically obtaining accurate answers to significant and pertinent questions by the use of scientific method. So I hope friends you all are clear with what is scientific method, what all are the characteristic of the scientific method of gathering and interpreting the information. So if you are finding as it is these words or related words in your question paper, please mark the answer as research. Please mark the answer as research. Now moving on to the next definition. Definition is of nursing research. Now if you are finding this definition in your question paper, nursing research is a scientific, again it is a scientific method because it is a research. Now when you are conducting research in a nursing profession, that type of research is known as nursing research. So nursing research is a scientific, systematic and orderly process to find out the solutions for problems concerned with nursing. Whenever you want to find the solutions that are concerned with only and only the profession of nurses, that time you are calling it as a nursing research. With nursing or generating and refining, now it's not only you are finding the solution to problems, you have solution to the problem, but you want to refine that solution. This is the second thing. And the third thing is, in which all areas you can conduct research in nursing profession. So it can be administration, it can be in clinical area, it can be in the education. So in three particular areas, that is nursing knowledge to improve quality of nursing care, in nursing education, in the nursing profession or the clinical nursing, and administration. So I hope this is clear, the definition of research and definition of the nursing research. Moving on to the next question. This is direct question. You can find this in your paper. Who is the first nursing researcher? Who is the first nursing researcher? The answer will go to Florence Nightingale, and her birthday is on 12th May 1820, and we are celebrating it as a Nurses Day. So 1820 to 1910, and her initial nursing research was based on, the question can be like this also. So it was based on importance of health environment in promoting patients' physical and mental well-being. Now this will be my last slide for today's video. So this is the characteristics of good research. Now what all can be the characteristics of good research? We have already seen in definition. It should be systematic, orderly, controlled, based on current professional issues. So very important, based on current professional issues. For example, nowadays we all are too much, we want to find the vaccine of this corona. So we all, if the scientists will just will get busy in finding the vaccine of something which is not of a in current issue, so that will not be the current professional issue. Okay, so it should be based on the current professional issues, and it should be begin with the clearly defined purpose. There should be proper definition what exactly you want to find out, and it should emphasize on developing, refining and expanding the professional knowledge. It is directed towards the development or testing the theories, finding solution of a problem, and dedicated to develop the empirical evidences and an objective and logical process. Appropriate methodology should be used. In my next slides or in my next video, definitely we will study the methodology, which is very important, and definitely you will get the question out of this methodology. Conducted on the representative samples, conducted through the appropriate use of methods and tools of data collection, use of valid and reliable data collection tools, and carefully recorded and reported, adequately and appropriately analyzed research, and patiently carried out activity. It needs a lots of patience to carry out one research, and adequately communicated. If you have found the answer to some or the other problem, and if you have not communicated that particular solution to the population, then it is of no use. So it is very important to communicate the solution to the population. Okay, so this was my last video. So I hope you understood what I had taught you today. If you have any problem, if you want me to change my language, if you want me to change anything, please do comment. Until and unless you will not comment, I will not be able to change myself. So I hope that you all are clear with all the examples that I have given to you. So just for the revision, I am just telling you what all we have covered today. It is the characteristics of good research. We have seen the first nursing researcher, nursing research definition, scientific methods and problem solving. So till here we are done. I hope you are clear. Any doubt, I welcome you all to ask the question, and please view this video till end and do comment, and please be safe at your homes. Thank you so much.